Okay, Kirsten, why is Take Me to Church the standout? We've talked about the kind of the impact of the song in general. Is there anything else you wanted to say about why it hit so hard?
In addition to all of the beautiful, like, internal things that this song allowed me to work through. It's so much fun to sing.
It is, yes.
It's so much fun to sing.
Yeah.
Like, I can just belt out those amens. You just want to get into it.
Yeah.
It's one of the only Hozier songs I've actually looked up the lyrics to.
Okay.
Because I needed to know what they were so I could sing them
Right.
with gusto. And yeah, it's so much fun to sing. It's my go-to karaoke song. It's just fun and I love it.
Now, do you find it easy to sing? Like, is it within your voice? Because this was a point made by Julianne, right?
Yes.
Other Cherubs alum and friend of the pod, that she finds that she loves songs most when she finds them easy to sing in her voice part. So would you say that this is true for you, that it fits your voice part?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll go with yes.
Okay.
I am less of a singer than I think your average theater person. Like, I've never been in a musical.
Okay.
Not in my whole life. I've stage managed musicals. I've directed musicals. That's actually why I started stage managing. Is my undergrad was like, we're gonna do spelling bee, and I was like, no, thank you. I would rather not sing in front of people. So,
hard show too. Yeah.
So what else can I do? And my theater teacher was like, what's your calendar look like? And I was like, it's color coded. He's like, great, you're gonna stage manage now.
Color coded. Yeah, that's stage
and that's why I started stage managing. So I am not super confident with my sense of my voice. I always think I sound bad. Whether or not I do is for others to say, but I enjoy singing it.
Yeah.
And I think it sits relatively in my voice in a way that is not offensive.
Yeah. Well, he just has such an impressive voice. It's like one of the best things about him, I think, is it's this. I think I read and think from Noah Kahn that was saying, like, it's like almost mythical kind of.
Yes.
Like he's a legendary, like he's like a woodland creature.
Yes.
That came out of the forests and can sing like this.
He's the Fae King, I think.
The
There's
Fae
like
King, right?
memes of like indie folk, and they set up who would be who, and he's like
if he hasn't played Oberon in a production
that would be
of Midsummer, then what are we doing?
What are we doing?
I'm saying.
It is weird though that, like, I remember like listening to this and think, first of all, it was everywhere. It was everywhere in 2014.
Aggressively so.
Yeah, I remember like I was doing a fellowship. I was out in San Diego and I had rented a car and I couldn't play any music of my own, so I had to find the right radio station to listen to. And I would say every single time I got into the car, I heard this every time. But like, it is fun to sing, but also I don't think it's that easy. Like,
no.
It doesn't have the sort of like chorus that you would think like would be, I don't know, like poppy or like catchy in that way. I can't figure out why it's catchy. I don't know. Maybe it's just his voice.
I think it's the way it's rhythm. It's the rhythm.
It's the rhythm.
Yeah.
It's the beat.
Yeah.
It's like, my love is the sunlight. Keep the goddess on my side.
Yeah.
Like, you've got the solid like folk.
And then it's got that dun, and then that's like it's kind of segmented in a way that maybe makes it user friendly.
Yeah,
that's why it is.
See that? Yeah.
And that's better that you were listening to that, because I was also moving that summer, and the other album that was all over the radio was the Drake album from that year. I think it was Views. Was that the Drake album that came out that year?
I'm not as familiar with.
And
Drake.
It's better that you're listening to Hozier than you're listening to Views. Is all I'll say. I listened to a lot of Drake that summer, and that's enough Drake for the rest of my life. I guess that's now been stated for posterity on the pod. I love that take. Yeah,
it is also like, I mean, getting to some things you said earlier. Like, I guess when even though I know he is technically Quaker, I believe.
Yeah.
I think,
raised that way.
Like, yeah, like I still, I mean, and I'm not the only one who said this from what I've like read, but it just gives such lapsed Catholic vibes.
Yes,
the song.
Well,
you went to a Catholic school.
There you
go.
That's very Irish.
Yeah. Well, yes, yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Like it's the like deep religious Catholic feeling, but they're like one of the most progressive countries.
Yeah.
So they've got this like deep religious culture that then also is like, okay, yeah, like that's all important and we can keep moving. So like I think that allows him to use this really religious imagery and then also, but not in a limiting sort of way, in a way that it gets to be really expansive.
It's like he's breaking it down from within inside it.
Yeah.
Because he knows so much about it.
Right.
And he can, it's like he's critiquing it, but saying, well, but there are these other things that I'm still going to hold on to.
Right. Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
So.
And I really love that. Like I grew up very conservatively religious, and now I consider myself more progressive. My faith is still really important to me. And so I think I love the way in which he's able to do that and like take the beauty and the significance and the respect and the honor and all these things that go into this language and expand it to be about so many more things and about love and like interpersonal relationships and relationship with nature and other things outside of you. That feels in part blasphemous and then also in part really honoring to the spirit of the thing.
Yeah. Because there was the Van Morrison comparison, I think is very clear just in the presentation and his voice and all that kind of thing. But he sort of feels like he's bridging the gap in terms of Irish musical tradition between Van Morrison and a little bit of Sinead, a little bit of Sinead O'Connor of, he's not as maybe radical as Sinead was politically or in terms of his agnosticism, but he kind of represents in my mind maybe a little bit of a middle ground between those two of somebody who's looking at those spiritual issues, those political issues, and trying to reconcile them kind of like within their contradictions for himself, which feels like a worthy task for a musician.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's crazy that we've covered Irish musicians and we still have not covered U2.
Well,
so I'm talking about Bono.
And Rob Kerwin, the producer on this album, was the producer on Zooropa for U2.
Oh, okay.
U2 and maybe another one of the U2 albums. So noted U2 connection here.
Yes.
So we can put that out there.
Absolutely.
There's no hate for U2 on this.
No, absolutely not. U2 cracks me up. One of my best friends from grad school.
I'm sorry, that sentence was funny. Out of context and in context. Keep going.
No, it's great. So one of my best friends from grad school, another Sarah, not the Sarah we work with, but her family is huge U2 fans. Like a couple of years ago, her parents were like, we're going on vacation to Australia because U2 has a tour there and we're going to go to all of the concerts. Oh. Deep love of U2. And first year of grad school, I went to grad school in Texas. So I was very, very far away from my family. And it was Thanksgiving, and like where Thanksgiving and the end of the semester lines up, you can't go back and then... Right. It's weird. And so she was like, well, why don't you come to my family Thanksgiving? And part of the prep, that you need to go through when you meet a new family is like, what are the weird things? Like, what do I need to know to not rock the boat as I'm being so graciously invited to your family? And she sits me down and she's like, you need to have an answer to the question, what is your favorite U2 song? Because that will be the second thing my dad asks you.
Wow.
And I can't remember what I said. I was like, can you just tell me one? And then what's the right answer? And she goes, there's not necessarily a right answer. There might be wrong answers.
Yeah.
I said, well, what's your favorite? And I was like, great, awesome. That will also be my favorite. And so then I'd listen to that song so I would be prepared.
What was it? Do you remember?
I don't. But like be ready to talk about it too. Like be like, not just ask it, but like we're going to engage in a serious conversation about why maybe it was The Streets Have No Name. Is that U2?
Yeah, Where the Streets Have No Name. Yeah.
And that was it.
Great song.
Great song.
Great opening. Yeah.
Great opening. Iconic
and
opening.
So be willing to talk about it and about the religious imagery that is in U2 songs.
Yeah,
and
it's all there.
Be willing to be ready for that. So and I think anytime U2 comes up, I think about that interaction.
Such a high maintenance, it's just weird. I respect you. Like, okay, what's your family's weird thing? But like, that you have to like show up prepared. Like, here's a dossier.
My family didn't do that when they met you. That was they were like, okay, we're just gonna ask you a bunch of questions.
Yeah, which was perfectly fine. Yeah. But technically you did give us 2 albums. Maybe we might mention what the other one was you were considering. But
yes.
but we don't need to talk about that. What we do need to talk about though is when you were trying to decide which album to bring before the tribunal.
Yes.
Right here. What standards did you use for perfection? Like, what is it that makes this a perfect album for you?
I think I was thinking about the like long-lasting impacts of the album on my musical journey. Like there are some songs or some albums that I'm like, oh yeah, like I really love that. I love being able to get in that. I think like I want to be able to, I can sing along with this and this is really fun. But like when I think about an album that was kind of seminal and groundbreaking in my own development, that's kind of what metrics I went by. What was the most impactful when it comes to my music taste? And I think this was the one that I was like, okay, this changed how I saw music. This changed how I saw storytelling.
Okay.
This changed how I thought about the world, and I love listening to it. Some other no skips.
So you're no skips?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm listening and we're vibing to all of it.
Great.
Okay.
I love the poetry of the album. I love the metaphor and the imagery and the illusions. I think that's all really fabulous. Yeah.
So for this collection of songs, how important to you, if you're going to call an album perfect and you're trying to, like assess it within yourself, like how important is a through line between all of the songs? Like, does it have to be a unified piece, or how important is that kind of through line between all the songs on an album to you?
It's not the most important.
No?
Okay.
I don't think. It was actually really tricky for me to think of like an album, because I don't often just sit down and be like, I'm going to listen to an album. I think it's because I grew up listening to such disparate music where in 15 minutes we would go through 7 different genres.
Yeah.
We had very interesting car rides. And VeggieTales would show up and then it's Metallica. Like it was wild.
Love that.
Oh my God. Now I want to make a show that is VeggieTales meets Metallica.
Write it down.
That's my aesthetic.
You've been put. It's been put into the universe.
What is it? Trent Reznor at a PTA meeting. VeggieTales and Metallica.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Anyway.
And so that's how I listen to music now, is just like, whatever, top played, and it can be anything.
Okay. Yeah.
And so to sit down and listen to an album is not something I do often. And so I had to like really think about that way. So that's also kind of how the metric was, if I did sit down and listen to this, what are all of the songs, or in separate, right? Like I listened to Cherry Wine. That's one of my favorites, and it's in that album. So like of the songs that are in there, those also show up in my other playlists.
Okay. Yeah.
And so putting
how often it pops up in other musical contexts.
Yeah, and then you can like piece it back together and be like, okay, yes, that whole album then
I like that.
is a part of my favorite list.
Yeah. I'm actually starting to think that, because we've talked a lot about on the podcast about how we are just consuming music differently.
Yeah.
And I think that like
even from 10 years ago.
Yeah, and I think we can sort of tell now like approximately like what age our guests are now, just because of the fact that like albums aren't we don't consume albums anymore. And I'm actually wondering if we're going to start seeing with a lot of our guests saying that, well, if I actually listened to the full album, that maybe made it a perfect album, because people just aren't listening to full albums anymore.
Right.
Except now I think maybe it's like an IP thing now, right? Where the full albums that the like wider public are focusing on, I think, are like the event albums, like the new Taylor album, or or Cowboy Carter, and like kind of like what's the next in the greater musical universe of Taylor Swift? How does this album fit into? I think that's where the album lives right now most strongly, is within the kind of these major artists. So like with Stan, like if you really stan Taylor, or if you really stan Beyonce, then like you're listening to the whole album and mining it for details. Right. But if you don't, and that's not really kind of how you approach music, there's a difference there's a difference in consumption there.
Yeah. And like now I would say I listen to a full Hozier drops a new album. I'm going to listen to that whole album in one sitting.
Yeah.
But only because I had that first thing where I'm like, no, Hozier is my favorite. And so I'll do that.
You've claimed him. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's not many other artists that I would be like, oh, I like this one song. Let me see what, it has to be a really good song that really grabs me to be like, okay, I'll sit down and listen to the whole thing.
Right.
If not, I'm just like, oh, it'll pop up eventually.
Well, before we deliberate and decide whether or not you've made a solid case here, we have one little section that we didn't prep you for.
Purposefully.
We just on the fly.
Okay.
And so we have 10 questions for you about this album. Not trivia. It's like just it's still your take on the album.
Okay, great.
But we don't want, we just like quick, like whatever your instant response is, no elaboration. We might ask some follow up afterwards, but like just answer it like off the cuff, first thing you think of.
Okay.
Sound good? You can do this.
I can do this.
We have, yes. It's not trivia.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. The best song on this album is
Take Me to Church.
Yep.
The worst song on this album is
Oh, what is it? I can't think of what the name is.
You can sing a lyric if you're thinking of a lyric.
Yeah, hum a few bars.
You know what? I'm gonna go Angel of Small Death.
Angel Small Death.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This album reminds me of
A Campfire.
Ooh. I like listening to this album when I'm
getting ready in the morning.
This album is not good for
it's good and not good for an existential crisis, depending on what you want from your music in your existential crisis.
Heard. Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to embrace it, it's great for it. If you're like, oh, I need to stave off this crisis, not that.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. If this album were a color, it would be
Dark maroon. The burgundy.
Ooh.
Okay.
If this album were a food, it would be
A hot toddy.
Oh.
Yes. Oh,
All right.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay. I would recommend this album to anyone who likes
Poetry.
Yeah. Haters will probably say that this album
Doesn't make sense.
All right. And if I had to describe this album in 3 words, I'd say it's
Beautifully, darkly romantic.
Okay.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Jeez.
Snaps
for that.
Snaps for the poetry.
He would like that. I think.
Yeah.
Hozier,
Oh, yes. Hozier.
wherever you are.
Hozier. I haven't said a lot.
Sidebar. He was named, for whatever this is worth, he was named one of the Time 100 most influential people for 2025.
I saw that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's dope.
I
that
clicked
wild,
on
That's
it.
crazy.
Yeah, I was curious because I was like, I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't heard any. I could not name a song other than "Take Me to Church" before you suggested this album, and then I listened to that.
Yeah.
I'm hurt.
Well, it's just I mean, like,
It's okay.
but I know "Take Me to Church." I knew "Take Me to Church."
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
But like, when I saw that he was one of the most, I was like, wait, did he release something big that I missed?
Well, I think he was on that Noah Khan song, Northern.
Yes.
What's it called? Northern.
Northern Attitude.
Northern
Okay.
Attitude, and it is good.
And that's beautiful.
It's a
I
great
love
song.
it.
Yeah. I don't think we get Noah Khan without Hozier.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I love Noah Khan.
Yeah.
Which again, like that's my journey into that genre.
Yeah.
Of sound.
He's the guy that's doing that right now. He's the guy that's bearing the
Yeah.
torch as Noah Khan, and it like started on TikTok, right? So that's kind of like he's the Gen Z.
Yeah.
He's the Gen Z Hozier, but maybe Hozier's just the Gen Z Hozier. But in any case,
Yeah.
I thought that was
He
interesting.
millennial Hozier?
Probably,
Hozier, yeah, he's
Hozier.
millennial.
I think he is. So,
Yeah.
was there anything else you wanted to? Was there anything that we missed that you wanted to bring up before we deliberate?
Well, yes, there is actually.
Ooh, okay.
This is very exciting for me.
Yeah.
So part of the infamy of Cherubs and being a director at Cherubs is you get no days off.
That's true.
No days off, 5 weeks. Theater with 17-year-olds is excellent, great time. But the one night off that I do have, and as I was prepping for the podcast, I was just like Googling Hozier facts. The one night off I have with Sarah, and there's conveniently a Hozier concert that one night.
Oh my God.
An hour away from here.
Where at?
So Tinsley Park.
Oh yeah, you'll love it.
Yeah.
Great.
And so I like stopped everything. I like went across the hallway and barged on her
So
door.
you're going.
And was like, Sarah, it's our night off. We're going, right?
Whoa.
She's like, yes, we bought the tickets that moment.
Wow.
So our one night off, we were going to a Hozier concert. And
So this is your
very excited about
first time seeing him live?
First time seeing him live.
Oh my God,
I'm
that's
so
great.
excited.
That's fantastic.
We might
forgot
ask
to ask
you.
that.
Yeah, we might ask you to report back.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Perhaps with a video that we can share via.
Oh,
social
yes.
media.
Yes,
That's great.
absolutely. I would love to do that. I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
what? Oh my God, it doesn't happen very often when like the stars align like that. Right?
Serendipity,
That's cool.
divine intervention has brought this moment to me. I'm so excited.
Taking you to church, baby.
Taking you to church.
All right.
no.
Well,
Yes, Tyler.
she's built a hell of a case, and I think
know.
that it might be time for the deliberation phase. That's cool. We did it.
Yeah, we did. Oh, pew, 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 sound effects and graphics.
All right, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. We're ridiculous. In case you haven't picked up on that.
That was
I mean, so I think that forgive me for saying that I had really only knew that one song, but I mean, I think that like coming into this, for me, like just the fact that this was the album, like this album changed things for you. That like we're actually talking about an album that like has defined your musical taste.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that like I'm always gonna dig that when like the because I mean my connection to music is so personal and like kind of inexplicable and deep that like if the fact that it had such a change for you, and also the fact that like you also connected to the like whatever's going on with religion in this album thing, that's sort of like the messiness of it, but also the like deeply rooted connection to it. I mean, for me, those are I think two of the strongest aspects of your case. What about you, Tyler? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Second these points that Michael made, and I want to say again, like the kind of thing of religion's not monolithic as much as it tries to be, right? Like
Right.
that's the thing that I think is hard for. We've talked a lot about our religious journeys on this podcast, and it's something that I kind of think about every day. And so when you can find an artist that isn't prescriptive about how you can like exist spiritually in their music, I think it's a really special thing. So I think that's a boon to the case for Hozier here. I think that what you're talking about of just approaching music in a kind of scattershot way and taking what feels right to you is a very honest admission. You know, like I think sometimes when we invite people on this podcast, they think we expect them to like music in a particular way. Like you have to love the album as a form, and it's like no, it's just the way that it's typically been packaged for the last half century or whatever that might be. So I appreciated that point in your argument, and I just think that understanding that artists are going to have songs that you really connect with and songs that you don't, and they can still like live in your heart, is a really important thing for us to remember about artists, that they're people too, and that they are full of multitudes. And I think you're approaching Hozier and your love for him in a very wholehearted way. So all those things make a pretty good case. So I'll put it to Michael then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Michael, you heard the case that Kerstin made. You've listened to the album.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us, has she done enough? Is Hozier's Hozier a perfect album? Does it go to 11?
I think it does. Fireworks, more graphics and sound effects. Who knows what we're gonna put in here?
Well
Yes.
done. Well done. Thank you so much for making this case today.
Thank
So
you so much for
excited that
having
you get
me.
to go see him in a few weeks.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you been like? Have you gone to lots of concerts or?
No, I don't
Oh,
go to concerts very often
Okay,
because
cool.
I'm in theater, so I'm usually working.
Yeah, this is our life.
So
Be prepared to wait in traffic a long time after the show.
no, that makes sense.
Yes, I would stop to use the restroom before you get in your car.
Yep.
Because it is one of those concert venues.
Get a snack.
Yeah. The last time I was there was with friend of the pod, Gil Tanner, and we saw The Who playing Tommy with a full orchestra.
When did you see that?
That was like, I'll ask Gil, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was probably
Wow.
like 6 or 7 years ago, something like that.
Huh.
Great show.
Okay.
So
Wait, and both Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend were there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's just
Awesome
weird
show.
for them to be on stage together because they wanna kill each other.
I know they were there though. And they're
did it.
finally doing
They
their
made it.
finally doing their farewell tour now.
See, there's a lesson to learn. There's a lesson to learn, especially young people, that even people who don't get along with each other can work together.
And you want to play that soundbite in your class on Monday.
Well, no. I was just about to say I'm not referencing anything specific at all. That's what I was going to say. But anyway.
Life lessons from Michael Lessons.
Life lessons. You can still make art without being friends.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. Sometimes that tension is good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Michael, did you have anything else you want to tell? What do you want to tell our listeners and viewers before we sign off for the day?
Well, I want to give Kerstin a chance. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything you can? I mean, or anything like, I don't know, because you did bring us another album you might want to recommend to our listeners / viewers if they haven't already listened to it. Although I think a lot of people probably have listened to the other album you're going to mention, but you can mention it anyway.
My music taste is pretty basic. The other one I
no shame in that.
No.
considering was Adele 25. Again, as a big romantic. And she does sit in my voice part. So I just get to like wail out, rolling in the deep.
Yeah.
Nice.
And all of that fun stuff. And then the rest of Hozier, right? Like, like he just came out with one last summer that's beautiful. The one before that's perfect. They're all perfect. I think all Hozier albums are perfect. This one, the first one, was just the most impactful for me.
Yeah. Cool. Pro Adele podcast for sure.
Yeah.
We love her.
Yeah.
Well, next week it's probably going to look a little bit different. We won't be in this. We won't be in this fancy studio. We won't be in person with our friend that we bring to the pod. But it's still going to have the same great quality that you have come to expect from us.
But
100+ episodes.
Much more difficult editing though, because we won't have the fine folks at Chicago Podcast Studio.
Yeah. We want to thank them again.
Working their magic on whatever sort of thing, whatever sort of equipment he's playing with over there that he's like changing from camera to camera. Yeah. They're we'll have to do it ourselves, and we'll see how that looks. You'll see how that looks.
We'll manage. Yeah. So big thanks to Luke. Big thanks to Tom. Big thanks to Chicago Podcast Studio. If you need to record a podcast in Chicago, can't recommend them highly enough. So reach out. And what do you guys think about Hozier? Let us know what you think about Hozier. And do you have anyone you want to nominate to be on the pod? Hit us up. We're always looking for new friends. So if you don't have anything else, then I think
just there's all the social media stuff, but you can click on it.
Social media.
Yeah. And of course, thanks to Kerstin for joining us. So yeah.
So I think all that's left to say is bye.